It took me several tries to get into the garage. That was not good. I actually tried pulling in reverse, and that did not work at all. And then, oh my god. Ooh, that's not good. Let me get some light going in here. I think that the car is so low and I was bumping something because it was hard, like really hard, to get my car to go into first and reverse. Like something about the left gears, because it's down and all the way left up for reverse, and then obviously first is left also, and I couldn't get the car to shift into either of those. I really hope that I didn't push up on the transmission or something and like slightly misalign the mounts, making it harder to shift, but I do kind of think that's what happened. So I would rather use my garage. If I had to rank it, I would say my garage usability is here and being low is down here. So in importance, I'm gonna go ahead and lift the car up a little bit. So it's obviously very low, like very, very low. The front isn't, I mean, it's low, but the tuck is significantly less than the rear. But the car is completely level. So I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is raise it up both directions. I'm gonna raise it up enough in the front to get my tire flush with this. And then I'm gonna do spacers front and back. So we're gonna lift it up enough that the tire will clear, and then I'm gonna put spacers to flush it up. And then same with the rear. We're gonna get it just enough where I can put the spacers and get a nice little flush look on there. And I think I'm gonna rock that. So my dogs are going crazy in there. I'm not gonna mess with the dampening or anything until I feel how well it rides at that height, because the higher you go, the less your dampening is gonna be, I believe. So we're gonna play around with it. I had all of this coilover stuff set up by a professional shop. So I have a really nice baseline to start on. Everything is completely level. Like all four corners are set perfectly. So as long as I adjust everything the same, theoretically, it shouldn't be very difficult. But we're gonna play around with it and we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go let the dogs out. I'm gonna eat a burrito real quick, and then we'll get the car into position, get the mat out from under it over there, and we'll get started. Because yeah, I'm excited to safely use my garage. Now onto the other side. What I'm doing here, and I already have the passenger side adjusted. We're gonna do the driver's side now. But what I did was I put a mark on the upper ring so I would know when I hit a full turn, loosen the lower lock ring, and then adjust the lower lock ring on the top counterclockwise, and that raises the suspension. So we're gonna do the same thing on the driver's side. I'm gonna put the wheels back on, lower the car down, and we'll see what our official ride height looks like. Also, another good thing to keep in mind is you wanna go higher just a little bit than where you actually wanna ride, because everything else has to settle again. And you lose a little bit. It shouldn't be too bad because I've already been driving on the suspension for a year, but you're gonna lose just a little bit of height. So you wanna go slightly above where you actually wanna ride at. I'm gonna keep this because my headlamp is not bright enough. The little batteries are dying and I don't have AAAs laying around anywhere, I guess. I'm gonna leave a mark on the upper ring with my Sharpie, which is right here, so I know when I make a full turn. Now remember where you put the mark on the ring, right? So it's not completely in the center, it's slightly to the right. So just make sure to put it in that same spot when you do a full turn. So put a mark there so I know. You're gonna put your spanner wrench, which is the smaller one, on the upper ring, on the upper small ring. There's words for all this, all right? I'm not a professional. I'm doing this in my garage. Yeah, of the two smaller rings, you're gonna put it on the upper one, which is just below the larger one. I'm gonna get flamed in the comments, so I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just out here. Put it on there, turn counterclockwise 1 full turn, which is going to raise the car. I have my tape measure. I know that this is gonna be 1/4 of an inch because I already did the passenger side. But this is gonna be about 1/4 of an inch higher. We're going to tighten the lower locking ring. We're gonna put the wheels back on, and we're gonna see where the car sits at right there. All right, see where we're sitting. All right. So far, without it really settling much, I definitely don't notice much of a difference. So I might have to give it like 2 or 3 more turns, full turns, to get it up a little bit higher. I can notice a slight difference on the way that the body line is with the ground. That definitely looks higher, but on the tires, it doesn't look like much of a difference. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. I could also just be seeing things, so I don't really know.
A few minutes later.
All right, we went ahead and went to just the top of the tire in the front, and that already makes it look a lot different. It's like the height that it sits on the tire doesn't look all that much different, but the height that it's off of the ground, especially the front bumper, is significantly better. Yeah, again, it's a little bit hard to tell, but having stared at it every day for almost 2 years, this is significantly higher. Even just a little bit goes a long way. So now it's time to switch over to the rear. With that, I went ahead and got everything fully tightened and the lug bolts are torqued, so we're all good to go in the front. Now we're gonna go to the rear. I'm kind of not sure how much I wanna go because I obviously still want the car to look level, and I assume that's gonna mean it's still gonna tuck more in the rear than it will in the front, just like it did before. But I don't really know how much that needs to be. So I think what I wanna do, I at least want 1/2 inch, like a good solid 1/2 inch, but probably more towards like the 3/4 of an inch. I think 1 inch is too much, but I definitely want to get in that direction. So I don't know. We're gonna have to play around with it and probably just see how it looks. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go a solid 1/2 inch. We'll lower it down and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, I have a bit of an issue, and I don't know if this is an isolated issue for just me or what. So, looking down here, you adjust the ride height on top of the spring. As you can see, you have this adjuster right here. You turn that ring, and it raises, it lowers, whatever this adjuster is on the top of the spring, whatever you want to call it. The problem is there is only one gold ring right there to adjust the ride height. And typically you would want 2 rings back to back. And the reason that is when you adjust one, creating a higher distance, which is what I want, you would counter turn the second ring against that one, locking them both in place, because they'll both have to travel. They both have to, one has to be loosened and the other one has to be tightened in order to separate them from each other. And just normal wear and tear isn't going to do that. That's the point. The 2 rings have to push against each other, and that's how you keep the adjustment height locked in right where you want it. The problem is with this one, there's only one gold ring. So if I adjust it, let's say I lower it, right? Because lowering the ring is going to spread the top of that adjuster up further away from the spring, raising the ride height. That's exactly what I want to do. But without a second golden locking ring, over time, that ring is just going to turn and probably lower my car over time. So over time, bumps and whatever, curbs and everything else that's, the daily wear and tear, that ring risks just loosening and lowering the car slowly. Worst case, one side lowers and the other one doesn't, and I end up having a possibly dangerous ride difference. I would probably notice it before we get to that point, but you see where I'm getting at. So I don't know if because I bought the extreme low variant, if it only comes with one ring and no locking ring. It seems weird that it would only have just one for adjusting the height and then not have a way to lock it in place. That seems really silly to me. So I don't know if either A, the kit is just designed to be completely maxed out, which again, sure, but it just seems weird that it wouldn't be including a lock ring. The other thing is the guy that installed it either forgot it or didn't use them on purpose to get the ride height as low as possible, because maybe that second ring adds X amount of millimeters to the ride height, right? So maybe he just didn't put it on there thinking it's already maxed out, so it's not going to loosen any further, which is true, but now that means I can't adjust it. So I don't know. That seems a little weird to me. I'm gonna have to do some research on that and see what parts are included, and see what I was originally given and compare it to what I have now. Unfortunately, what that means is I don't feel confident adjusting the ride height in the rear if there's a chance it's just going to undo itself, right? What's the point in me messing with it? So I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a little research. Maybe worst case, I'll take it back to the guy that set it up for me and ask him to make an adjustment, and he'll have to figure it out. If he didn't include parts that were supposed to be on it, then he'll have to figure out how to include them to get the ride height that I want, because I should have a couple of, maybe not a couple inches, maybe an inch and a half, right, of adjustment left on that. I mean, it's completely maxed out, and I have like 3 inches of that adjuster that I could use. So theoretically, I should be able to put it to at least stock height off of this kit. It just seems weird that that locking ring is missing. So I don't know. Kind of weird, kind of confusing, kind of concerning. It sucks because I just went through all the trouble to raise the front, and now it doesn't match the back. I mean, granted, it's not a huge difference, but I'm gonna notice it. That bothers me, and the whole point was to raise the car, and now it's just lopsided. So kind of annoying. Again, I'm gonna do some research and see what's supposed to be included in this kit, because maybe I was just ripped off from the factory. I don't know. That seems weird because it's a sealed box, but whatever. I'll do some research. So I'm gonna put the car back together and I guess get it out of the garage while I can, because I have to angle it like crazy, and I might as well do that before my wife gets home. So I guess that's the end of this video. That's a bummer, man. I was hoping to be able to use my damn garage, but I guess not yet. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe to my channel, check out all the other content I have. Trust me, I have tons and tons of stuff for you to watch. Check it all out, and I will see you in the next video. Drink water, be safe.